What is up, y'all? It's your girl, Nick Robinson with the Yara Effect. Let's get into this Married to Medicine season finale, the reunion trailer. Y'all, I'm like, wow, okay. So basically, we've been anticipating how the group is going to move forward with trying to have exes within a group with their nexus. I mean, it's crazy. Like, we have the whole season pretty much has been about, you know, Quad, Dr. G, Letitia, and King. I mean, it's been about those four basically. And we see at Toya and Eugene's party that they have, their Victorian era party, their Bridgerton inspired party, that they had to stagger their guests. They've never had to do that before. She wanted everybody to be a part of her celebration. Would I have gone for having them be there for just an hour and then having the other people come in? Like, I don't know. I think Toya and Dr. Eugene did the best that they could with trying to include everybody, but then keep the drama up out of their celebration, because they don't deserve that. Let's say, I mean, married 16 years and doing a lot of it on this show is a lot. So I don't blame them for not wanting to have drama, whatever else is going on with the group, because this is the first time that as a group they've not been able to be in the same room with each other. I mean, like, honestly, when I think back over the years, it's like, even after the worst fights, look at Mariah and Toya. I mean, they literally like fought like bad. Okay, tore up Carrie Little House party. You know what I'm saying? Look at Quad and Lisa Nicole. Like, there was physical stuff going on there as well. But neither one of those incidences, those are kind of like the worst incidences I can think about the top of my head, beyond what we're seeing now, where there was actual physicality going on. And they didn't have to be like fractured to this degree that you're staggering guests. I think it's really, really sad. But this is what you get when you put exes together. I mean, like, in real life, who has to be around their ex this much for real? Like, nobody. I mean, who does that unless you're in a situation where you're living with your ex until you find somewhere to go, something. But I mean, just believe there's no peace going on in that situation. I just think it's crazy. And I mean, again, I get where people are coming from. I try to be objective. They say, oh, well, Quad isn't married to medicine. She's divorced now. She needs to go. But I don't hear the same thing when it comes to like Atlanta Housewives. Honey, at one time, I don't know who was married on that show. I think it was more divorced or separated ladies or whatever the case may be than there were married. And the show is called Housewives. So, I mean, I guess I don't like the double standard there. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, Quad has consistently remained on this show. Like I said in one of my other videos, I mean, Dr. G, not saying that he wasn't friends with the group of men, okay, but we didn't even see for years him even filming with just the men. I mean, to me, your fight to try to stay a part of this group and on the show from, Dr. Greg and Letitia's point of view would be that, listen, these are my group of friends. As far as the show is concerned, I never stop filming with the guys. It only makes sense that when I have a new wife or a girlfriend or whatever, she would film too. You know what I mean? And it looks kind of weird if she did not film with the ladies. I think the way it was done, I think the way it was backhandedly done into Quad, not only did they kick her off of the trip, and when you look back at that, Toya does look surprised. Because I'm sitting here like, in the moment when I saw it, I'm like, why is Dr. Simone kicking Quad off of Toya's trip? You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, Toya and Quad was having problems at that time. She was having problems with all the ladies, it seems. So I get there being an issue. But for you to, like, supersede somebody else's trip and say who can't be there is crazy to me. And now it's coming out that apparently, based on what Toya said on her interview with Page 6, and based on what Quad is now revealing, Dr. Simone works for production, whatever that means. And from what I can tell, based on what we're seeing, somebody got a gripe with Quad. Somebody don't like Quad. Somebody don't want Quad on the show from production. But the powers that be are keeping her there. Apparently, she's good for TV. Like a lover, hater. Somebody's always talking about Quad. Okay. So at the end of the day, it's still eyes on the show, because whether you hate Quad or not, whether you love Quad or not, you're watching the show so that you can even comment on what she's doing. Even if you're not watching the show, you commenting on somebody's commentary about what she's doing on the show. So it still drives even more people to Married to Medicine's franchise. So either way, it's good. So the powers that be don't want her gone, because I feel like if they wanted her gone, she would have been gone and she wouldn't have been able to come back. I think the group shenanigans that, allows us to possibly believe that, they got a say in it, they all will tell you we can't hire or fire nobody. I know a lot of people be bringing up, oh, well, they got rid of Mariah. Apparently, just like Simone led that, they want to say Quad did it, but Simone, the one who laid the foundation for that as well. Apparently, even Dr. Eugene and what's his name, Cecil, when they was on with Carlos King doing an interview, even they said there was things about Mariah and production that was going awry. So did Dr. Simone and Toya when they was on with Carlos King. They were saying there was things that Mariah had going on with production, and that's how Mariah really got up out of there. So this whole thing about, oh, well, Quad did it to Mariah, like, child, that whole thing was crazy too. But at least they was able to be in the same space. Now we see that, that nobody know what's going to happen, because the people who are actually involved in it, Dr. G and Letitia, they seem to be so lacking in accountability and lacking in what they will and won't do and what lines they won't cross, that people are kind of like, I can't have them in the same place at my event. So that's what we see in this last episode. I think it's crazy. I was looking at all the outfits, and I was like, okay, I don't know how I would have done it if I was Dr. Greg and Letitia. I don't know if I would have went through all the drama of, trying to find something to wear, coming all the way out there, wherever they was at, just to be there for an hour. I think that's crazy. I think I would have rather been like, you know what, if we're gonna go, let's go. Let's not engage. Let's not, let's just go and support Toya and Eugene. Like, I don't want to fight. You know what I'm saying? There was no fight last year. That's the crazy part. There wasn't no fight last year. So we see that they do the little Bridgerton theme party. Congratulations again to Toya and Eugene for 16 years of marriage. And then now, Quad, I think in Quad's brain, she was like, okay, they see where I'm coming from. They're not going to have my ex around. So, okay, great. But then they come back with, oh, well, we want everybody around, and, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, whiplash. You know what I'm saying? Like, which one is it? Because I wouldn't want to be around my ex either. Let me be clear. No. And we've been divorced much longer than Dr. Greg and Quad has, but I don't want to see him whenever I go with my so-called friends. I just don't want to see him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Quad and Tisha really have a problem with each other per se. I think that it's more about Tisha wanting to protect Dr. G, and Quad feel like she need to be able to speak about whatever her experience was if she wants to, which we see as the seasons go on that she doesn't talk about him, but I think him being around is what's making her talk about him. You know what I mean? It's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. And then if that person is like pretty much thrown in your face, you gonna have feelings. You're gonna talk about it. It's not even really sincere to sit here and say she was married to this man, was with this man for 10 years, and if he come back around, she ain't gonna say nothing about him. I mean, I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I mean, I personally wouldn't want to be, on my job and with my ex-husband and my new man and his wife. I just, child, it's too much. It is too much. And at the end of the day, I just feel like, unfortunately, it seems that you will have to choose unless you keep doing this staggering thing that don't nobody want to do. You know what I mean? Because, honey, Heavenly ain't going where T at if Quad ain't there, period. She done made that clear. But just like she did with the trip last year, she didn't go to the trip until Jackie was okay with going with the trip. A lot of people have something to say about that. I look at it like this. Dr. Heavenly is the type of friend that's going to have her friend back if she feel like her friend is in the right on the situation. And she clearly feels like Quad is in the right on the situation. Dr. Heavenly is the only one with the honesty enough to say, yeah, we brought her on. You know what I'm saying? And then we see in the trailer for the reunion that, Dr. Simone pretty much shows how she really feel about Quad, how we feel like over the years we've seen her behave towards Quad. Like, bitch, I don't like you, okay? I really don't like you. None of them liked her when she first came on. And that's the crazy part. Like, when I think back, think about it. Toya was with Carrie talking about how, Quad got a mug shot and, but Dr. G had a mug shot too. They didn't put that. They wasn't talking about that. But, they was talking about, how she doesn't fit in with the group, how she's Mariah's lapdog. Like, they all was like dogging Quad out at the same time. I don't feel like they did Letitia like that. Not saying I want them to, okay? I feel like they were welcoming to her. Very much so than they were Quad. Let's be honest. I think where she, as in Letitia, went wrong with the group, the first little thing that hit them wrong was when she was talking about access to the money. All of them were like, excuse me? You know what I'm saying? It was like a pin dropped and everybody heard it in the house. So Dr. Heavenly followed up with, well, has anyone ever told you you're a gold digger? I don't feel like that's a messy question. I feel like if because Dr. G, at that time, they were cool with him. He was considered a friend, to them. And they was worried about their friend and his soon-to-be wife commentary on what she liked about being engaged. If you really love somebody, I don't think that would be the first thing you would say. I don't know if they cut out the other stuff that she said, if she said anything else. But that would hit anybody wrong. That would hit anybody, family or friends, just wrong. So I feel like she kind of went to the left with that. And then in the previews of like looking at her bachelorette party, when we saw her cutting the food and we saw Quad walking in, we assumed that that's what she was acting like that about. But no, she went off on her sister. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, she has made some wrong steps in this group. Don't get me wrong. And I think that, we as an audience don't get to see a lot of the stuff that production cuts because they decide what we're going to see. So we're forming opinions based on what we see. And then Dr. Heavenly does kind of open the curtain a little bit on her channel, saying that, per Dr. Heavenly, T has allegedly, been some kind of physical with some of the ladies. Like, she pushed Dr. Simone or something like that. And Simone was like, you got one more time to put your hands on me, indicating that, there's allegedly been other times where she's touched the ladies wrong. So, I mean, like, honestly, I know a lot of people don't really look at the commentary of, the YouTube channels and stuff like that of Dr. Heavenly because they can't stand her or whatever. But, like, I'm just so tired of, like, seeming like I'm missing what the tension really is and what's really going on, because I feel like, the rule is to not let the doctors look bad, to not, let the spouses, other doctors look bad. So that's why we haven't seen some of the worst behavior that Letitia has exhibited on this show, and why there seems to be some kind of, I ain't saying it's a hate train for her, but why there seems to be some tension when it comes to her. They let Dr. Heavenly, like Dr. Heavenly said, she said they always get all my fights with everybody, but that's what people unfortunately want to see. You know what I'm saying? It calls for drama because there has to be a villain on the show. There has to be drama on the show. Apparently, Dr. Heavenly brings that. And that's all they show of her. I just don't know. Leading up to this reunion, I'm trying to understand why is Dr. Simone bringing it back up? Is she saying that when Quad said at the season finale, then lose me? Is that what she indicating as far as her saying, you know, you gave your ass to Kiss? I mean, like, for years. I mean, like, I thought they had got past that issue. I thought that, that was it because they had made up and they had moved on. And y'all gotta remember the timing of the filming of this last season. It was during the summer because when Quad debuted King as her new man, that was in June when she posted those Instagram photos. So as we can see, the check that Phaedra wrote, it was dated July. So all of this stuff happened in the summertime. Since filming has stopped, Quad invited the ladies to King's 40th birthday party. You know what I'm saying? When Dr. Eugene had his birthday, because I think King's birthday is either in October or November, if I'm not mistaken, had a 40th birthday party celebration. Who was there? The ladies from Married to Medicine was there. I saw the pictures myself, saw the videos myself. Dr. Eugene's birthday, I believe, was in like November or December or something like that. Toya had a party for Dr. Eugene. Who was there? The ladies of Married to Medicine, including Quad. Like, she was there. Like, I mean, Quad, it does have a busy life. So do the doctors. So do the other ladies. Like, they all are busy. So they're not going to be at every single thing for, whatever when they're not filming. But I see more of Quad and King coming around. You know what I mean? If there's other events or whatever I've missed, then so be it. But I just want to get down to the bottom of why is it that every reunion, Dr. Simone is yelling at Quad. I mean, like, what is going on? Like, I just don't understand. I mean, we see where they make up. Quad has said that she asked Dr. Simone what's her problem with her, and Dr. Simone says she don't have a problem, but then she act like she got a problem. Like, I don't understand. I really want to know, because why does she seem to be the punching bag? I mean, honestly, Letitia want to say that she the punching bag. No, baby. No, Quad is the punching bag, boo. She the punching bag. I mean, this group is going to hold you accountable for your actions. Like, Toya and Dr. Mimi was trying to do with you at that table. They were just asking you questions. Like, they wasn't even being mean to you. They wasn't, no. I mean, but if you offended by, being held accountable and taking responsibility for your own actions, then of course you would feel how, they feel as far as Letitia. Her and Dr. Greg saying that they made an effort. I don't see it. Maybe there's something, once again, that production has cut that we don't see, because I don't know what kind of effort they've made as far as this whole thing. I don't understand their perspective on that. The whole group is, not cool with Dr. G trying to get back to Georgia and call the authorities about something that happened in Florida. I mean, obviously he doesn't understand the law like he need to, because if he was gonna call, it should have been in Florida, but he left. So I don't know what that was about. And then there was no assault. So of course here in Georgia, they're not gonna be able to do something about what happened in Florida. So that was weird to me. I just feel like, he didn't want the man around, basically, because he was okay being around last season with Quad, you know what I'm saying, there and stuff like that. So, but I don't know. Then again, they didn't do did they do a couple strip last season with T and Greg there? Yeah. I think, because that's when they went to yeah, that's right, because that's when they went to the Hilton Head. So yeah, they did, and it was okay then. So again, it's giving when Dr. G, it's giving that Dr. G doesn't want King around. You know what I'm saying? And, and looking back at, a couple episodes ago when they was like, how can it be made right? He was like, only one person can make this right. What does that even mean, sir? I mean, I have a lot of questions that I hope get answered at the reunion. This reunion is crazy to me. It's always 3 parts. That hasn't changed, because we got to unpack why Dr. Simone told Quad, you got what you deserved. Like, what does that mean? Are you saying that a man can put his hands on a woman? Is that what you saying? Would you want your boys putting their hands on a woman? I mean, like, I want to know, what does that mean as a DV survivor myself, for somebody to tell me, oh, you got what you deserved? What? Oh no, because it's women like me who have almost lost our lives to DV. I ain't saying that's the extent that what Quiet went through. I'm just making a point that you never tell a DV survivor they got what they deserve. So I need to know, like, what is up. Y'all let me know down in the comments what y'all think. I think it's crazy. I think it's sad. Um, I hate what we are seeing right now. Dr. Heavenly on her live, she did say that she gonna try to bring the show back to what the original intents and everything was, because it has gone too dark. I'm a Married to Medicine fan. For years I've been watching the show, and I don't like the direction it's going in. Inviting somebody X to the show with their next is crazy to me, especially when that person, left the show. I don't think anybody told Dr. Greg to leave, just like nobody told Quad to leave. But he decided it wasn't the right fit for him. I don't see why it would ever be the right fit. You know what I'm saying? For him to come back and film with this group. I just don't see it. I mean, because we don't need to see this. You see what I'm saying? This ain't what we need to see. I don't like it. I think that they do cross lines with this group. Can we do something else? Okay, can we do something else? I'm not here for it. I knew that when we saw that Quad had a new man, I knew it was not going to be an easy situation, because I mean, like, if you got a man, of course they're going to want him to be around. You know what I'm saying? You can't be on a show like that and have a whole relationship, debut the relationship on, Instagram or whatever, and then they don't film it for the new season. Please, come on. So, one more thing that I do want to say, I think it's really sad that, Dr. Greg and Letitia don't see just how, I don't want to use the word obsessed, because I think that's a little strong, but how dedicated they are to this whole narrative about Quad and King and all that stuff. We see at the reunion that, Letitia is addressing King. I mean, you see what I'm saying? You ain't got nothing to say to him, honestly. I mean, the man can say what he want to say. He up there for a reason. What he's just supposed to be, like, up there and say nothing, like a statue. Like, come on, no. He's a part of this show, like it or not. And her seeming to support her husband looks a lot like her just doing what he say. Not good. I'm sorry. Not good at all. They've all said it. We see it. I'm never for somebody being in a type of situation, relationship, or whatever, where they can't even, speak how they really feel without there being consequence from their spouse. I think that's crazy. I think that's terrible. I'm never gonna come up off of that part of it, because I went through it, and it's just, you walking on eggshells all the time. And then, especially for the cameras, you don't want your spouse acting like that. Like, you don't want them acting like that anyway, but in front of people, because people like Dr. G, they'll show they will turn it out. Okay, they will turn it out. So, this 3-part reunion is crazy to me. And the fact that we gotta wait 3 weeks to see it, it's like, oh my God, three different weeks to see what all unfolds. The men have never been in the type of drama that they're in this season. I mean, but what do you expect when you throw together, a ex-husband who admitted to being abusive to his ex-wife, bringing on his new wife, and his ex-wife having a new man. I mean, it's gonna be a shit show, period. And that's exactly what has happened with this season of Married to Medicine. It has fallen from where it should be. I mean, it's unfortunately, it's this mix of Love and Hip Hop meets Married to Medicine, and I don't like it. I'm sorry. I don't watch Love and Hip Hop Atlanta anymore. I think it got too messy for me. I used to love it. I'm a Georgia girl to my heart, and I had to stop watching that show. I don't want to stop watching Married to Medicine. I don't. So, if you haven't already, share, like, subscribe, all the good stuff. It's all free. Check me out in the next video. I'll see y'all next time.